The beer hall putsch was a failed coup attempt by the Nazi Party leader Adolf Hitler to seize power in Munich, Bavaria. During 8th to 9th November 1923, about 2,000 men marched to the center of Munich, where they confronted the police, which resulted in the death of 16 Nazis and 4 policemen. Hitler himself was wounded during the clash. In the early 20th century, many of the larger cities of southern Germany had beer halls where hundreds or even thousands of people would socialize in the evenings, drink beer, and participate in political and social debates. Such beer halls also became the host of occasional political rallies. One of Munich's largest beer halls was the Keller. This was the location of the famous beer hall Putsch. The Treaty of Versailles, which ended World War I, sounded the death knell of German power and prestige. Like many Germans of the period, Hitler believed that the treaty was a betrayal, with the country having been stabbed in the back by its own government. Particularly as the German army was popularly thought to have been undefeated in the field. In 1923 Hitler enlisted the help of World War I General Erich Ludendorff for an attempted coup known as the Beer Hall Putsch. The NSDAP used Italian fascism as a model for their appearance and policies. Hitler wanted to emulate Benito Mussolini's March on Rome of 1922 by staging his own coup in Bavaria, to be followed by a challenge to the government in Berlin. Hitler and Ludendorff sought the support of Staatskommissar, State Commissioner, Gustav Ritter von Kahr, Bavaria's de facto ruler. However, Kahr, along with police chief Hans Ritter von Caesar and Reichswehr General Otto von Lossow, wanted to install a nationalist dictatorship without Hitler. On 8 November 1923 Hitler and the SA stormed a public meeting of 3,000 people organized by Kahr in the Keller, a beer hall in Munich. Interrupting Kahr's speech, he announced that the national revolution had begun and declared the formation of a new government with Ludendorff. Retiring to a back room, Hitler, with handgun drawn, demanded and got the support of Kahr, Caesar, and Lossow. Hitler's forces initially succeeded in occupying the local Reichswehr and police headquarters, but Kahr and his cohorts quickly withdrew their support. Neither the army nor the state police joined forces with Hitler. The next day, Hitler and his followers marched from the beer hall to the Bavarian War Ministry to overthrow the Bavarian government, but police dispersed them. 16 NSDAP members and 4 police officers were killed in the failed coup. Hitler fled to the home of Ernst Hanfstaengl and by some accounts contemplated suicide. He was depressed but calm when arrested on November 11, 1923 for high treason. His trial before the Special People's Court in Munich began in February 1924, and Alfred Rosenberg became temporary leader of the NSDAP. On 1 April, Hitler was sentenced to 5 years imprisonment at Landsberg prison. There, he received friendly treatment from the guards, and he was allowed mail from supporters and regular visits by party comrades. Pardoned by the Bavarian Supreme Court, he was released from jail on 20 December 1924, against the state prosecutor's objections. Including time on remand, Hitler served just over 1 year in prison. While at Landsberg, Hitler dictated most of the first volume of Mein Kampf to his deputy, Rudolf Hess. Dedicated to Thule Society member Dietrich Eckart, was an autobiography and exposition of his ideology. The book laid out Hitler's plans for transforming German society into one based on race. Some passages implied genocide. Published in 2 volumes in 1925 and 1926, it sold 228,000 copies between 1925 and 1932. 1 million copies were sold in 1933, Hitler's first year in office. The 16 fallen were regarded as the first blood martyrs of the NSDAP and were remembered by Hitler in the foreword of Mein Kampf. The Nazi flag they carried, which in the course of events had been stained with blood, came to be known as the Blutfahne, blood flag, and was brought out for the swearing-in of new recruits in front of the Feldherrnhalle when Hitler was in power. Accordingly, the most significant outcome of the putsch was a decision by Hitler to change NSDAP tactics, which would demand an increasing reliance on the development and furthering of Nazi propaganda.